Hey, this is Mark, and today I'm going to be troubleshooting an iPhone 6 that arrived on my bench with no touch after someone has clearly already replaced both of the touch ICs. And they've also reworked some of the backlight circuit. But I've tested it, it boots up, backlight works fine, but there's just no touch. So the first thing that I'm going to do is inspect the digitizer FPC. Now I know from experience, particularly with the LCD FPC, if these pins get bent, pushed back a little bit towards the center, just a little bit, that can be enough to take out image or backlight depending on which pin is bent. I've run into that before where I was troubleshooting image and could not find any problems with any lines or chestnut or anything, and it ended up being like a pin down here. And then I ran into it again once with backlight. Couldn't find a problem anywhere, half dim backlight, and it ended up being one of these guys. So what I'm noticing here is, maybe this pin is a problem right here. I don't know, but it's definitely worth trying this out before I start changing chips. So what I'm going to do is just kind of put some pressure and squeeze this side, and it kind of just pulls the pin out a little bit. So I'm just going to do that to all of them. And maybe this is easy. Maybe I got lucky. We'll see. Probably not. That's not the way it goes for me. I'm probably gonna have to pull those chips off, only to find that half the pads that are important are missing. That's my typical luck. And that's also the point at which I would stop the video and go quote the customer data only. I'll do one, maybe two jumpers for a touch IC job, depending on how I'm feeling. I'll always definitely do one just because of the M1 pad on the 6 Plus. It's so common, that's part of the job some of the time. And maybe if somebody's been there before me and they've pulled another pad too, I might be in the mood to be generous and throw that in. But yeah, otherwise data only. All right. Now let's see if I got extremely lucky. I'm sure the answer to that is no, but it's worth checking. All right, let's see. Nope. No, of course not. Mark never gets lucky. Never. Man, I gotta say, the worst part about doing these YouTube videos while I'm working at night is that I don't get to listen to music. I'd love to have some music going right now, but then Warner Brothers are whoever is going to get the 5 cents when the one person out there that doesn't skip the ads doesn't skip it. Alright, well, we are missing a couple of pads. If memory serves me, these are both NC, and yes, you can clearly see there's no via, no trace running to them. So those are definitely both NC pads. There's another one, but it is also NC. Another missing one, also NC. So yeah, everything that's missing here is NC, which if you don't know means, I guess it means not connected. That's essentially what it means. No connection, not connected, whatever. But looks like everything was good there with Mason. But anytime you're dealing with, you know, all these different variables and unknowns, and you know I don't know what the hell's been done to this board. So anytime you have to deal with that, you want to always make changes, you know, a little bit at a time. So I'm not going to replace both touch ICs. I'm just going to replace Mason and then test it and see, did that work? You know, probably not, but we'll see. But, you know, every once in a while I get lucky and don't have to do a bunch of different steps. I just never happen to be recording during those times. All right. Alright, put a new Mason on and cross our fingers. Oh, I'll cross my fingers. You guys out there watching are probably going to be saying, don't work, don't work, don't work. I want to see Mark struggle a little. Makes it look too easy all the time. This one's got to be hard. Alright. So my approach to troubleshooting this would be, is going to be first replacing, you know, well, obviously first making sure it's not the pins, and then redo the work that's been done one chip at a time, the 2 touch ICs. And then from there, if that doesn't work, I think the best way to proceed would be, rather than checking all of these voltages and you know, checking every, like there's a resistor I think under here and this guy down here, and making sure those are all good. I think the best way to approach this is just to pull the touch ICs back off one at a time and compare the diode mode measurements to what I have written down from a known good board, and that will quickly tell me if both, you know, if changing both of the touch ICs doesn't work. That will help me find the line that is at fault very, very quickly. So So that is the plan, but hopefully changing the touch ICs again is all this is going to need, because I really don't want to do more. I want to go to bed eventually. Nope, not going to be that easy. All right, time to do Cumulus and have that not work either. This is going to be like the longest touch video. It's going to be, you better strap in. We're going to be here for a few hours. All right. Maybe whoever changed Cumulus did it poorly. Oh, I hope. Well, we got a couple more missing pads. I don't believe those are important. Nope. 3 more missing pads, all NC. So, I'm guessing whoever worked on this before me probably was having some issues with touch not working and replaced the chips multiple times, and that is why there's all these pads missing. That's my guess, but who knows. I've been checking on the chips when I lift them just to see if it's me that's pulling the pad, and it isn't. I always check. Anytime I pull a pad, or anytime I pull a chip and see that there's a pad missing, I always check on the other side, on the IC itself, to see if it was my fault or not. And it hasn't been my fault for many months. It's probably been more than a year, near 2 years, since I've pulled a pad lifting an IC. I used to think that I would pull the M1 pad on the 6 Plus Touch IC, but I have since figured out that that is just part of the way that they fail. I theorized that pretty early on, once I started seeing them, just because that pad would fail all the time. And the way that I convinced myself that it wasn't me causing it is because the pads, the pulled pad on the chip would always be like off center, off to the side, or even swallowed up by the ball, where if a technician pulls a pad due to poor technique, the pad's being pulled because the solder isn't melted, so the pad's going to be like directly on the bottom of the chip, flat. So if in my case there was no possible way that I ripped a pad off, because the pad is swallowed up by the ball. That ball was definitely melted, and the pad just was fractured and lifted to begin with. Alright, so I'm not going to nudge Cumulus just because everything's so tight in there. Sometimes I'll pull I'll pull this cap out right here before I even change Cumulus, and that'll give me room to go in and have my tweezers and nudge it to make sure I get a good seating. But I'm convinced that's good. I'm not worried about it. Alright, testing again. Is it gonna work? My guess is no. I don't see any signs that the technician that worked on this before me did a bad job at anything. So My guess is that the ultimate problem with this is going to be, you know, something that takes more diagnostic skill than that person had, and not better technique. But maybe I will get lucky. I keep saying that and it keeps not happening. But maybe it'll happen this time. Oh God, we're already 15 minutes in. That's long for Touch IC. Go ahead and get my diode mode maps that I've made, painstakingly mapped out every single ball under these chips. Alright, yeah, of course. Why would you work? That would be too easy. Alright. So from here, I'm going to remove Mason and compare Mason diode mode to a known good. And I actually don't have those printed out, so I'm going to pause the video while I get that printed out. Alright, I've got everything I need now. Just gotta pull this chip off and start measuring. I considered just going ahead and finding whatever line is the problem before coming back to record, but I decided against it. I figured if I have to sit here through all of this, you have to sit through it too. So here we are. It's easier to probe the pads if they are not covered in giant solder balls, so I'm going to go ahead and clean those off ever so gently. The solder mask is starting to get a little thin. These traces are looking a lot lighter in color than I want them to. Somebody's definitely been in here numerous times. Turn the hot air off, we don't need that right now. And I'm going to start going through and testing out these pads. Now this is kind of a pain, but do what you gotta do. Alright, that one is good. That one's also good. That one is also good. Let's see. Good. Not that one. That one's good. All right. Good. Good. Let's see. Good. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's good. And All right, no luck there. Pull off Cumulus, see what's up with him. This is a little bit annoying now because I just I just thought of it that the prices for these ICs, Cumulus and Mason, have gone up because China sees demand and decides, oh, okay, apparently you guys need these things. I'm going to charge more for them. And they've gone from about $1.20 a chip, you know, like a year ago, up to about $5 a chip now. So every time I pull these guys off, that's $10, unless I want to reball them, which I really don't. Yeah, it costs $10 every time I pull those off. Alright, let's measure our chestnut, or our Cumulus lines. Good. Those two are a little low. That one's a little low. Alright, so these three I believe are all connected because I've got the same values written down for all of them. And I'm reading about 100 lower than I would expect. I'm expecting around like 520, 525, and I'm getting 433 on all three of them, which I'm pretty sure they're interconnected. And then I've got another guy that's down here. Yeah, also connected to those guys. Supposed to be about 525 and it's 436. So that is possibly something worth investigating. But I'm gonna have to go look on ZXW because I definitely don't have those lines memorized. But let's go through the rest of these lines and see if I can find more problems. Let's see. So this appears to be a problem. Getting no reading there, and I should be getting a reading. Oh, you know what? Some of these go to Mason, so when I make my maps, I put, I only take one chip off. So I'm just going to mark these and check and see if they go directly to Mason. I think they do. I'm just marking with a pen the ones that need further investigation. Alright, let's see about this guy. Multimeter turn back off. Alright, 470 and I get 444, so yeah, it's a little low, but not low enough that I'm really worried. One, two, three, four. All right. Let's see, I got about 450, and I'm looking for 460, so that's good. Same with all three of these. Yep. And this guy should be right around 500, and I've got open line. Alright, we'll look into him maybe. 445, and I'm expecting 460, that's good. 777, I'm expecting 790, that's good. Hmm. 1.2 when I'm expecting 530. Alright, gotta mark that. Alright, only 3 more to check. Let's see what we have. Show me what you got. Right, I got 745, I expect 750, that's good. 446, I expect 470, that's probably good. And then another 1.2 when I'm expecting 530. Those must be interconnected. Alright. So now, the next step is to fire up ZXW because I am definitely too lazy to look through schematics. And let's see what lines these guys are on and who they talk to. Alright, well, it looks like my internet connection is garbage right now. Yeah, I just switched providers and the router they gave me is a piece of shit and I have to reset it every time I want to do anything. So I'm going to stop the video again. Okay, so I forgot that the camera stops recording exactly at 30 minutes. And I don't know where it cut me off, but I assume when I was last speaking, I was going through and measuring in diode mode on all these different pads to compare to a known good. So in a nutshell, everything was good except for a couple of pads here, these ones, and then there were some other ones that the readings were off by a lot. And I suspected that those pads probably just went straight to Mason, and that's why they were off so much, is because Mason isn't on there. And that was the case. But the ones that I initially that were off by like only 100 or so were these guys. And they are on PP1V8 grape. Now PP1V8 grape is... it's necessary for a couple of different things, but one of the things in particular is it's produced by the PMIC, and it goes to Chestnut, and it goes to Mason as well, I think. Let me double check. I don't want to say the wrong thing here. Internet will eat me alive. No, it doesn't go to Mason. It just goes to Chestnut. It goes to like a cap over here and a resistor over here. And then it goes to this guy that's under here, which I'm going to have to expose. Which this little thing is... It's what's called a buffer. It's actually, it's a 2-channel... It's got 2 channels, and one channel is a buffer. The other channel is an inverter. And basically it's, I'm not an electric engineer, so somebody's probably going to tell me I'm an idiot and like saying it wrong. But basically the buffer will take an input and produce the same output, but it like separates the two lines. And then the inverter will basically, it'll take an input and give the opposite output, where, you know, if the input is low, the output will be high, and if the output is low, the input will be high. And, you know, I don't really know much beyond that. But I know that it has to work. And I know that this buffer is connected to the PP1V8 grape line. And it is also connected to ground, and then it's connected to the two data lines that it is there, you know, to affect. So what I'm thinking is that this buffer slash inverter could be entirely what the problem is. So I am going to pull it off, and I'm going to take one from a donor board and put it on. And then we're going to see if that fixes things. Alright, so it looks like the dot is in the top left in this orientation. Good to know. Here is my donor board. So, I don't have the schematics in front of me, but I know that this guy, he has something to do with enabling the proximity sensor, and then the other thing is some like LCM HIFA B-Sync line, and I'm really not sure what that is about. I'm pretty sure I remember that being necessary for image, but I don't know. But I'm suspecting that it's possible that this buffer could have failed in such a way that the PP1V8 grape has an inappropriate path to ground through the buffer. Maybe not a full short to ground, because the diode mode was just reading lower than it should, but not, you know, a full short. So basically whatever resistance there is internally in these guys between VCC in and ground, that resistance is lower in the old one than it should be. And this, if this is the cause of no touch, this will be only the second time I've ever seen it, and I'm not entirely sure what would cause it. All right. Now for the moment of truth. I'm not even going to take a measurement on that line because the board is still hot and that throws off your diode mode readings anyways. I'm just going to fire it up and see if I have touch. this is interesting. Now I'm getting no image. Wonder if my donor board was bad. It's possible. That would really be unfortunate because I don't have another donor board. I've got a 6 Plus, but I already stole it off of my 6 Plus. Actually, I do have another donor board if I need it. Okay. All right. Let's investigate. Check out what diode mode measurement I get now. $439, so still low. Am I measuring the right one? Oh wow, that's really low. 300. That is way too low. All right, so pull the new one off. And even though the board's still hot, let's see what diode mode says. 390 and climbing. All right, so I'm gonna say that one was bad. So let's take one off of another donor board. Alright, so just for fun, I'm going to check what the diode mode is on this one. This isn't ideal because it's not a known good, but chances are this line is okay. Now that is interesting. I may have the wrong reading written down for this line because I am getting 437 on it, which is right around what I was getting before. So I may have gone down this rabbit hole for no reason, or at least this branch of the rabbit hole. All right, so now If I'm like crazy lucky, touch will work. But if not, I will just have a phone that is back into the state it was in when I started, which is booting with no touch. Alright, we are booting again, so that's nice. Good to know that my donor board had a bad buffer on it. Who would have guessed? But let's see if touch is going to work. I am not going to be optimistic about this one. Not at all. Wonder who worked on this before me. Oh my God. Oh wow. Oh God, I know that there's a bunch of YouTube people laughing their ass off at me, and probably have been for the past few minutes. So it is booting again, so that's good, but obviously touch doesn't work. So what I actually should have been doing, rather than testing to see if touch works, is test to see if my 1.8 volt grape line is now present. It wasn't before, and I'm not sure if Cumulus has to be on there for it to be present, but I don't think so. Honestly, I've never checked, and I don't have a known good iPhone 6 at hand that I can just rip Cumulus off and test. I still do not have 1V8 grape. So this is going to be a learning night. Might as well, just to get more information, go ahead and put Cumulus back on and see if 1.8 grape is now present with it on. And if it is, then I'll know Cumulus has to be there. I'm going to use my super thin tweezers this time to make sure I get a really good placement here. These are my $50 only use them on special occasions tweezers. Like, use them every once in a while. But they can fit anywhere I want to put them. The tips are just very soft and easy to bend. Even gave it a nudge this time. Alright, so is 1V8 grape going to be present? I don't know. I don't know if it is. But let's see. It is present. Good. While I'm in here, let's check out pretty sure that's 5.1. Can't remember these guys. I don't think these guys are even necessary. Pretty sure somebody over here is like, thought these guys were the 6 volt line. I think this is 5.7, or maybe it's this one's 5.7. God, I don't know. Don't ask me. Oh well, missing a lot of voltages. So that makes me wonder if the problem could be chestnut. Who knows? It's on the list of things to check now, though. So I do have my 1.8 volt grape line present. I'm going to go ahead and throw another Mason on, and then we'll test one more time and see did replacing that buffer fix it or not. And then when that isn't what fixed it, we'll go ahead and start tracking down voltages and actually measuring at the right spots for them. Don't pay attention to what I did earlier and think that that you can like reference that for where to measure, because that was just totally from memory and just hoping to get lucky and see the 5.1 and 5.7 and negative 5.7 voltages that I wanted to see. Didn't see any of them, but that's probably because I was measuring in the wrong place. So I don't see too many iPhone 6s, so I don't have the locations of those caps memorized. Now I nudge Stockholm a little bit. Go back, Stockholm. Don't do this to me. Oh Lord, I hope I didn't push down on him. I think I just kind of nudged him, and this underfill shit is keeping him from settling. God. Get that underfill out of there, and also replace that coil. Add that to my to-do list. And this job is really turning into a rabbit hole. If it wasn't one of like 5 things that I've gotten to work on, I would very quickly say this is way too much trouble, but right now I'll spend all night working on this if it'll keep the lights turned on. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get that chunk out of there. The other end of that inductor. Dig out some more of this underfill apple crap while it's hot and easy to do. Alright, now we're back to testing for the who knows how many millionth time. Feels like it's been a dozen at least. Right. Oh, and my battery on the camera's dying, so if or when this doesn't work, I'll stop the video again and charge the battery up. And what the hell, maybe I'll make some breakfast. It's about 8 o'clock. Come on, boot, you fucker. Come on, you little bastard. Come on, taking your sweet, sweet time. Hey, that's not supposed to happen. Look at that. All right, well, there we go. So it was the buffer slash inverter the whole time. And nice. I'm a little bit shocked. There was, going into this, I was confident that was what it was going to be. But then kind of confidence started to break down there. But no, that was it. It was that little guy. He was, I guess, either not, not performing the function of inverting or acting as a buffer correctly, or possibly he could have been partially shorting PP1V8 grate to ground. So all that's left now is to put my little inductor back. Oh, look, I've already stolen him off of this one. There we go. Get in here and get this inductor, swap it back over, and then this one will be done. So, you people out there viewing, I am in need of known good, like iCloud locked or something, some useless in some way, but actually works and boots. iPhone 6, 6S, and 6S Plus boards. So, if you, ideally, if you want to donate those to me, that would be great. But if you've got like a good deal on it, a better than eBay deal, get a hold of me through messaging or Facebook or through YouTube messaging or whatever, and let me know. All right. This turned out to be an interesting video after all. It's really surprising that that's ultimately what it was. Because I've only seen it one other time out of, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of iPhone 6 and 6 Plus touch jobs. I've lost track of how many I've done now, but it is well into like 300 and something, or possibly more. And out of all of those, I've seen this one other time. At least I've seen it one other time that I was able to diagnose. It is possible that I could have seen this and just never solved it, and that happens. Don't always solve every problem the first time you see it. Especially if I've got enough other work to do that I don't want to waste my time tracking down weird issues that only happen twice in a couple of years. But it does make for a good video. Actually, another interesting, just kind of incidental, is that buffer, I believe, is what one of the lines, the M1 line that always is a problem in the 6 Plus. I believe it runs to that buffer in the 6 Plus. I believe it is that Haifa B-Sync line. Alright, gonna have to get in here with hot tweezers. So I get these jobs in the mail, and you know, lately it's been a lot of ones like this where it's not just a straightforward easy thing. It's like, you know, I'll get 3 jobs and all of them will be something weird that I've never seen before that I've got to figure out. Which is why I've started trying to record whenever I'm working, but I don't always do it. I'm glad I did tonight. Shit. I am not helping things here. All right. Just making a mess of this. Looks like I just hit another half hour, so this is going to be a more than hour-long video. But yeah, these weird ones are interesting, and when I remember to record them, they make for a good video. At least something that probably nobody else on YouTube will have a video of them doing. I don't know, maybe there's somebody out there that's already done this particular repair, but I think the chances probably aren't very good. Okay, so with that, I am done. All I gotta do is clean things up, and I will be putting a shield on this over that entire area just to help make the board a little more sturdy. Not really as much of a problem in the 6, but might as well. Alright, so weird ass iPhone 6 touch problem solved. It was the buffer U2304. Thanks for watching.